Hey there, welcome back. Let's carry on with this project here. So in the previous video, we did get this cranking engine apart that's back there. This was the crank out of it. Come to the conclusion that this will not work for what we got. There is a lot of wear on the rod journals here. The mains have about 4,000 to 5 thousandths wear with some pretty good water damage to them. With all that, I don't think this one's going to work for what we need. So that's going to lead us to this one here. We'll go back to our original crank that came out of the first engine and probably make something work here. So I did misspeak in the video on tearing it down. I said there was 7 thousandths of wear on main number 2. That was incorrect. It has about 4,000 to 5 thousandths wear currently. And then on main number 1 here, we have 1 thousandths worth of wear. So we're good on this side. It's this one that has the wear. So the plan is to make custom bearing for this side here. And depending how it goes, I might make one for the other side too, but we'll see how this works on here. So the first step we'll do is get a hole drilled in this, and this hole is centered on this bushing, so we'll just center it up here on this one and we'll get it drilled. We're ready to go. Next step is just to push it in here, press it in. So the ones that came out on both engines, the hole was lined up with the, I think you can see it in there, the oiling hole. This comes from the block and into here, and then it's cut, drilled out for this right here. So we'll get that lined up. We'll press it in. Did make a tool to press this one in. And then this end was to push out the old one. All right, so I got this pushed in there. Just set it in the same spot as the other one here. So this is what we'll be using to machine the bushing out here, or turn the bushing down to get what we need. And the reason being is I want to chuck it up in here, and the smaller turning lay, it just barely fits. This one will work better for that just because it has a bigger jaw. Little backstory, this one did go through a flood here a few years back, so it was pretty much all the way up to here on water. Got it out of there right after the flood, cleaned everything up, and then just over the years here recently I've got it fixed up. The first step is to get this in here. So I'll get you set up and we'll get this going here. We're just kind of eyeballing right now, see where we're at. Bring it in close. Get a little closer and we'll put the dial on it. Feel we're pretty good there. Think we'll make that work. All right, here's my setup. I know this tool post is a little small for this one, but for this it'll work. It's my only setup that I have for a boring bar. All right, so the first pass wasn't too bad. It was just a cleanup pass, see where we were. But we're pretty good there. All right, so we're getting close here. I do have my bore gauge set up for 1 inch and a 1 inch and 120 thousandths. So I'm about 5 away from that right now. I'm just gonna make a couple, probably just gonna make one light pass here and see how things look here. There we are, we're right at 1 inch and 120 thousandths. The rest we'll clean up with the ream to come up with our clearance there. So on this one, if you could see in here, I come up with about 20 thousandths deep groove in there. So we'll kind of shoot for that. I'll bring you back here when I get things set up and show you what I'm doing. All right, here's my setup to cut that oil groove in there. I don't really have much to go on or to use, so I'm just going to use the boring bar. I got it set up at a pretty good angle to get in there. So I'm going to fire this up and we'll just keep going back and forth here, kind of ease into it. We'll see what happens. There's 5 thousandths. We'll bring it back the other way. And I just want to throw a disclaimer out there that I am not a machinist. This is all amateur hour stuff. I'm learning as I go. Please forgive me. So that's a 10,000 deep groove. And I gotta go another 10. Here's what I came up with. I think that'll work. Like I said, we're right at 101 inch and 120. The rest we'll clean up with the ream, and I think we got her. All right, well, here's the end result here. Did get it finally cleaned up with the ream here. And got the clearances I need. So I do have my mic set at 1 inch and 120 thousandths. Now the bore gauge is set up to match that, so when I just check things over, about 2 thousandths oil clearance right there on this side. 2.5, and flip it over, and we're 2.5. So our required oil clearance is 2 to 4 thousandths. So I'm going to call that a win. It goes on there nice, rotates. Main number 2 is good. Now the plan on main number 1 here, I'm not too sure yet. I'm still debating on doing it or not, but if I do that, I'll do that off camera. All right, got things assembled here. Just the crank in, the bearings are in, and the flywheel on, just to check our lift to see what we had after we did the bearings. Bring it back down to 0. And then just tab right at 2 thousandths, maybe just this little bit over. But, so I feel that's good on that side. We're good on the drive end. And then I'll spin it around here and I'll show you the front end. I did put a new bearing in on the front. I did fit one for it, so I'll show you pictures of that. But yeah, that one turned out good too. There's 2 thousandths on this end. All right, well, I think that'll wrap that video up. Getting the main bearings fitted to this crankshaft that has some wire. I feel really good about where we're sitting with 2 thousandths of oil clearance on the front and rear bearings. So that's all good. The next video, we'll focus on getting these rods fitted to the crankshaft. But I appreciate you watching, and I'll get you set up for a bulletin review. Hang tight. We'll go back to August of 1956, and it's number 244. Just talks about making a valve spring compressor for the cranking engine and how to do it, tools you need, or excuse me, the material you need, and the dimensions, and kind of shows how it works down there. It's kind of neat that they show you how to do that stuff. Today they'd probably sell you an expensive tool. Next page talks about the installation of a float ride seat. If you wanted to upgrade your tractor that didn't have it, talks about or shows you all the stuff you got to do here. Next page continues on with it, and then it also talks about, or shows you what to order, excuse me. And the last page is talking about the adjustment of the float ride seat. head gasket. And down at the bottom is torque specifications. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day.